Welcome to the 2005 Targa Newfoundland. This annual adventure is held on paved roads in Newfoundland, Canada's youngest province, and covers roughly 2,200 kilometers, or nearly 1,400 miles. I'm Scott Darlington here with photographer Garth Gullickson. We're thrilled to be back. There's always that fabulous Newfoundland scenery, but we're also going to see plenty of excitement as we film and photograph the week-long event. Targa sections make up 1/4 of the Targa Newfoundland's distance. These are closed roads in and around towns where teams ignore speed limits and stop signs as crowds cheer them on. The remaining 3/4 are transit sections to get from one Targa section to the next while observing all the usual rules of the road. Although there is no prize money, nearly 100 teams competed this year against the clock to win medallions, trophies, Targa plates, and of course the bragging rights for having done the Targa. There were 2 classes of competition this year. In the touring class, cars must complete each stage within a specific amount of time, with some variation allowed. The times are set based on posted speed limits, and penalty points are assigned if a car finishes outside that time window, whether early or late. Cars in the touring class must be street legal and carry some basic safety equipment such as a fire extinguisher. The other group is Targa class, where the allotted times are much shorter. The result? High-speed runs against the clock with speed limits simply ignored. Because of these higher speeds, cars in the Targa class, while still street legal, must include full roll cages and 5-point harnesses. For all classes, of course, safety is important and teams must stop to help any other team that might need medical attention. For many teams, the Targa Newfoundland begins with a long trip just to get here, some from as far away as Australia. Here at the ferry terminal in North Sydney, Nova Scotia, teams gather for the 15-hour ferry ride to Argentia in Newfoundland. This is often the first time meeting other competitors, and friendships are quickly formed. Early Saturday morning, after a long delay due to a stuck ferry ramp, we join the procession from Argentia to Placentia. We are welcomed by Mr. Robert Gnu, President of Newfoundland International Motorsports, the company that organizes the Targa Newfoundland.
You guys are going to run a stage, that hill you came down today is part of the stage you will run in Placentia. Except you'll be doing it a little quicker than you did this time, and Marty is putting together that and organizing all that for you.
After a hearty Newfoundland breakfast and our first encounter with the rain, the teams drive to Mile 1 Stadium in St. John's. Here, they register for the event, get their cars checked over, and decorate their cars with numbers and signs. Many courses are available to the teams today, including one on first aid. Later today, Mile 1 Stadium will open for the first of the week's Targa Newfoundland car shows, an evening tradition at the Targa. Some cars just need a bit of polish to get ready, while others, well, still need a lot of work. On Sunday, the teams start in St. John's and do 2 prologue stages before ending up in Flat Rock. This is a chance to test out drivers, navigators, cars, and equipment. The high speeds in Targa class combined with slick roads this year to send 3 cars off the road. Unfortunately, the beautiful 1966 MGB of Lauren Tiemann and Jim Jurgensen was finished for the event. Thankfully, though Jim required casts on both feet, Lauren wasn't seriously hurt, and both will make full recoveries. That evening, Mile 1 Stadium once again hosted crowds of people who came to see the cars. Teams also worked on their cars to make any repairs or adjustments after the prologue stage. This cycle of compete today, repaired tonight, would be repeated every day. Garth spoke to touring class competitors, Mark and Lawrence Hacking, about their team Mitsubishi Eclipse.
Now, this is the prologue day today. You've had a chance to run 2 legs. Gives you a bit of experience, but also gives you a feeling for the car. How did the car handle in the prologue?
Car was great. We had actually extremely challenging for a prologue stage. Our first stage of the day was a very high average speed considering there was a lot of standing water on the road. Car handled extremely well, and it's great. It's going to be great for the week.
And I know we're just beginning really an intense week of competition, but is there anything else you'd like to mention at this point in time?
Well, it's going to be intense competition, but we have a great support crew. We got Paul Simmons and Christian Dion here from Mitsubishi, and we're confident that if we should happen to make a mistake, they're going to be there to pick up the pieces.
Well, thank you very much, and I wish you both the best of success in this event.
Competition began on Monday, with a transit run from St. John's to Holyrood for the kickoff stage, and will end the day in Gander. The third stage of the day, Marysvale, featured a jump followed by a hard compression. This claimed car number 408, a 1969 Porsche 911 with Casey Holtzman and Bob Seville as its victim, shown by these dramatic photographs. Fortunately, they were not seriously hurt. The fourth stage of the day was in Brigus, a small town with plenty of tight corners. Let's see how the teams performed. After Brigus and 3 more stages, teams arrived in Gander for the last stage of the day, Gander South. Another stage with tight corners. It's twilight, wet, and we're sure to see some fishtailing cars. Yep, there's some fishtailing. Is he done yet? Nope. Roy Hopkins and Adrian Hughes bent some valves today. As you can hear, Roy will be changing the engine tonight. Here's a Subaru. All-wheel drive means steady grip, right? After the last stage, teams made their way to the Gander Community Center for the nightly car show. Once again, the nightly ritual begins as teams work on their cars to repair the day's damage and the odd road rash. Mark Scott and navigator Chris Payne had a strut pop through the hood today, but they'll repair it tonight. Afterwards, Chris Payne explains.
What broke? That's a good question. I'm trying to remember what broke.
Strut tower?
Oh, yes! Sorry, of course. The first day, we broke a strut tower. Exactly, yeah. Because it was made of the finest agricultural cast iron. And the roads of Newfoundland pounded the spherical bearing right up through it. So we've now cleverly, we've replaced it with a strut tower. Not cleverly, we just managed to find one, but a strut tower top from a Subaru, which we found.
I heard a rumor you have Subaru factory sponsorship now.
We're looking forward to that, yes, and getting the four-wheel drive installed in the car because we sure as hell need it. The other part, though, that's really quite good is that because we've been looking forward to and expecting the other strut tower to break, we've shimmed it by hammering in bits of the other Subaru strut tower that we cut off. We've hammered them in so that the cast iron can't, the spherical bearing can't push it apart. And that's held with duct tape.
It's Tuesday, we're still in Gander, and it's still raining. There are 8 stages to complete today, starting with the Gander North stage. Let's see how they did. We're at the start of the Norris Arm West stage. Cars slowly make their way through to the actual start, where you can expect to see tremendous displays of raw acceleration as the countdowns reach zero. Well, some fared better than others. The sixth stage of the day is Grand Falls Windsor, another stage with tight corners within a town. Good thing no one's looking for pollution violations. Now that was a fine four-wheel drift at the corner. Can it be matched? Nice try, but not as elegant. Let's see how this looks from inside car 604, a 1979 Porsche 911, with driver-owner Glenn Clark and navigator Evan Gamblin. Glenn and Evan are now approaching car 903 parked at the right side of the road. There. Glenn waved to acknowledge the OK sign being held. No need to stop and help. Glenn and Evan are now approaching Garth and me as we shoot the video and photos. There. As Glenn passes the flying finish marker, he slows down and approaches the stop line where Evan will receive a sticker for their time card annotated with their finish time. There's a wide variety of driving in the Targa Newfoundland. You'll see everything from the tight in-town stages like the one we just saw on the Grand Falls Windsor stage, to the fishing village run we're about to see, and on to wide open high-speed runs. Wednesday morning sees the teams make the trek from Gander to Musgrave Harbour for the first stage of 7. The fourth stage of the day is Greenspond. Let's watch Glenn and Evan's work on this stage. The last stage of the day is Clarenville. Another town stage, this one too is full of tight curves, though it does have more straight sections than many town stages. We're filming the cars as they come around a road that follows the U-shaped Lower Shoal Harbor, followed by a very sharp acute angle turn. Let's watch. The police car missed the acute turn. Car 0, which opens the stage, has also missed the turn. Let's see how the competitors fared. Did he make it? Nope. This year saw a special camera car participating. Rally legend John Buffum and respected motorsports videographer Claude Garape in a 2006 Subaru WRX STI captured plenty of action by following and sometimes passing competitors. Here they wait for car 923, a 2001 Chevrolet Corvette driven by Mark Swain with navigator Mike Bell. Can the Subaru catch the Vet? Let's see. After the Clarenville stage, teams went to the Clarenville Arena for the nightly car show. We met up with driver Gord Ross and navigator Dan Coomer of car 510, a 1972 Volvo P1800 ES.
The first day was tough. The prologue was critical for us to learn to communicate between each other. The first day, I think, pretty much everybody in every car was ready to kill their driver or navigator at some point. Now that the week moves on, you learn what everybody needs and you gel together.
Has anything embarrassing happened to you so far?
It's the start. The roll up in front of the keg start.
We were superheroes.
Superheroes waving to the crowd. They said go. He took off like it was a rally stage. I was gawking around like a superstar. Didn't give him any directions, and we headed off up a one-way street.
Which way do I turn? Which way do I turn?
And anything else you'd like to bring up?
I think the people. We have passed more people standing on roofs.
The people here are incredible. Their support is unparalleled. I've never seen anything like it.
Had any embarrassing moments so far? Either for you or for Dan?
No comment. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I went behind the tree thinking that it was the start of a section, and I started having a pee. And I heard a knock on a window, and there was this woman waving. I didn't realise it was her front lawn, and I'd sort of gone around the back of the rhododendron. She was smiling, so it wasn't too bad.
Targa Newfoundland even has its own chaplain.
I'm Edison Wilcher, and my wife Margot and I, we've had this car for about a year and a half.
A lot of people may not recognize what type of car is this?
This is a Citroen. It's the CX GTI model 1977. The CX is one of the more modern ones, and some people say the last of the true Citroens, but they're still making great cars, of course.
And you've got an interesting nickname. What is it?
I'm called the Faster Pastor. That's by most Protestants. Our Catholic friends call me the Flying Father, and the Anglican folks call me the Quicker Vicar. Oh, it's rather unique sometimes when competitors say, "Would you pray for me?" And I say, well, that's kind of a conflict of interest, isn't it?
Garth chats with John and Clark Painter, two brothers well known to Targa Newfoundland and teammates in car 901.
And I'm sure people recognize a Subaru when they see it. Is there anything special about the car you'd like to emphasize?
Yeah, this car, this is our second year with this car here, and we've had a lot of people coming up and saying, you guys seem to be going a lot faster this year. Well, Can Jam and the guys at Can Jam, the builders of the car, put it together fairly well this year for us, and got 400 horsepower at the wheels, about 425 foot-pounds of torque at the wheels, and it's just a ball of fire.
I'm sure a good navigator will never admit he's made a mistake, but has there been the odd navigational situation you've had in the car in this event?
Yeah, only one corner earlier today, I think. It may have been more corners, but the only one that I can remember was one today, and we came up on it a little quicker than I expected, and it was there, and I apologized, and we kept on going. Luckily, he can manage those when I'm not there.
And when I don't listen to him, I have to apologize too, which happens off and on too. We picked up 3 seconds because I stopped before we hit the end of a stage, and we ran over time by 3 seconds. So it goes both ways.
Well, thank you very much for your time, and I wish you both the best of luck.
Thursday morning sees the teams make a long trek from Clarenville to the first stage of the day, Harbour Mill, a high-speed run with plenty of twisty bits. Let's watch Glenn and Evan. We're about to see a car that has gone off the road to the left. The fourth stage of the day is Fox Cove Mortier Buren. On the way into Buren is a long run next to the water, followed by a sharp left turn towards Buren. Car 923, the same yellow Vette that was followed by the Subaru camera car, caught quite a bump on the Buren stage. Let's watch. Next, watch as car 923 leaves a speed restriction zone and catches car 603, a 1981 Porsche 911 SC. Finally, let's watch car 923 on a bit of a hairy ride. The last stage today is Marystown North, a quick twisty run through Marystown. Let's watch the action at the sharp hairpin turn.
And I imagine at the speeds you're at, there may be some pucker moments. So are there any interesting pucker moments you'd like to relate about this year's Targa?
I got to be honest to say that the only moment we've probably had was just a little in Marystown then, just Ray made the call. It was a straight line. It was a turn left. We just basically, I lost where we were, just slowed the car down, took first gear and went through it. Other than that, we really haven't had an issue where we've been out of control.
Once again, at the end of the day, the teams made their way to the local arena for a car show. Garth interviews Glenn Clark about his Targa experience so far this year.
We've got one more day to go, but from the 4 days so far, what's been your biggest pucker moment?
Well, we've had a couple scary ones. Osprey Trail, when it was raining, I almost went off at about 180. Entered a corner a little bit too hot, and you never know what the braking's like. We were down on our time. We were trying to make up time, and it was pretty hairy. And the brakes don't work unless you push the clutch in at the moment. So when you want to brake, you push the clutch in, and then you push the brakes. So that's interesting. I got to crawl down there and find out what's wrong with the pedal cluster. Oh yeah, and we got a big crack in the front of the car. The left front strut is broken off from the roll cage, so I don't know. We're gonna look at it. I might not fix that. You know, a stock 911 doesn't have one of those, so we're probably giving up a little bit on the cornering, but I think we'll roll with it. Only one more day.
Car 409, a 1966 Porsche 911 with just a few modifications, lost its bumper today after breaking a strut tower earlier in the week. Garth spoke with owner-driver Mark Scott and navigator Chris Payne.
You've had, I'll say, a little bit of adversity, Chris, but...
Yes, we've had a little bit of adversity, yeah.
So tell me about your custom bodywork.
Well, it was trimmed by a guardrail up on coming from Buren and Mortier. So I don't know. I think that the people of Newfoundland give us so much that I think the least we can do is leave them some paint. And so we left some paint on a guardrail.
So for people that are not familiar with the car, it was freshly prepared for the event. Could you give us just a quick outline of what things have broken or you've had to fix since you've been here?
The bulk of the work has been tightening nuts and bolts that drop off, and that's just fine part of the whole thing. But the major issues have been alignment settings. As things have settled, alignment has changed pretty dramatically, going from benign to evil. and then hopefully back to benign again. We've had doors to no longer close. They marginally closed. They were working. Now they no longer close at all. The navigator's door is held with a bungee cord, which severely inhibits my egress.
And would you ever need to egress with Mark Scott driving?
Well, there's always potential for egress, like today, but only because, and the only reason that I felt the urge for egress was because after we tagged the guardrail, we were kind of facing traffic in a, impact zone.
Now you and Mark have started the rally off as friends. How has your rapport and friendship developed as you spent the last 4 days with them?
Oh, we had a little spat this morning, and I think that was probably good because it helps the relationship grow. You know, I think that you have to be expressive with your feelings, and I think a lot of us are we internalize too much. So I think a lot of that came out today, and I think it's good. I think it helps us grow as people.
So you developed a rapport with Chris from a driver navigator perspective yet?
Definitely. Yes, we're getting there. It's a lot of work. We're learning.
So we're at the Marystown Arena. It's day 4 of the Targa Newfoundland 2005, and we're talking to veteran Targa Newfoundland navigator Evan Gamlin. Targa is an interesting event. It's run entirely on public roads, which you could, I guess, drive for free. Why are you paying for this event?
The really interesting thing about Targa is it has public support and volunteer support like no other event I've ever seen. I don't know that you could do this event in any other province. I mean, the folks in Newfoundland are extremely generous to let us run on their roads, to put up with the inconvenience of having their road closed for several hours. And the volunteers come out, several thousand of them, and, give a considerable amount of their time and their holidays to make it possible for us to do this. You couldn't drive at the speeds we're going on a public highway unless you were totally lunatic. You rely on the volunteers to be keeping other traffic out of the stage, and keeping even people from backing out of their laneways in their pickup trucks, because that'd be just horrendously dangerous. So we're very grateful to the folks that give their time to allow us to do that, and the roads.
Okay, thank you very much, and we wish you both the best of success.
Thank you.
We checked in with Mitsubishi Canada technical representative and acting crew chief Christian Dion, along with Mitsubishi Canada National Parts and Service Manager and acting owner Paul Simmons.
What is the role of a crew chief in an event like this?
Primarily, we're working to make sure that the car is performing properly, that there's no issues for the drivers. We make sure that they've got everything they need to compete every day. We talk about some strategy in terms of where we want to be, but mostly we're just here to support the drivers and make sure the car's performing 100% for them. But the car's performed perfectly. We've had no issues with the car at all. Yeah. It's been just a super experience for us.
And you're getting an exposure to Newfoundland. What could you tell us about the hospitality of the people here?
They've altered their lives greatly by shutting down streets, and I've even seen schools closed because the children can't get to school, and they've already planned ahead for the event. They're all very, very excited about it. So it's amazing to me how a whole group of communities, not just one, but a whole group of communities can come together to make this thing all happen. It's quite an event.
To reiterate some of what Chris said, I mean, the people of Newfoundland have been just super everywhere we go. Fabulous people. And this event is just absolutely terrific. I'm really glad we had the opportunity to come out here. It's been a wonderful adventure.
Great, thank you very much. I wish you the best of success to your team.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
The fifth and final day of competition starts with yet another long trek to the first stage. We picked up the competition at the third stage of the day in Placentia, where almost a week ago we'd had breakfast after arriving on the ferry in Argentia. This stage is a blend of long straights and some twisty bits with a finish in the sharp, short corners of the town itself. It's the final stage of the week-long Targa Newfoundland, and we're back in the wet again. We're at a tricky part of the stage where a long descent makes a left turn towards Outer Cove before a sharp right to avoid the water. It's been a long week and everyone is tired. Let's see how they do. Stopping to pick up the mail? Along the way, we asked several people to summarize the Targa Newfoundland experience. Here's what they had to say.
This is really only the third day, but if you could sort of sum up the Targa in one word, what would you use?
I know you can't use that, but, but that's the way I'd sum it up.
Yeah.
On the one hand, it's pure elation when we had one section today where our target speed was 127.6 kilometers an hour on these roads, and we made it through 11 seconds ahead of schedule. So we were actually averaging 129.8 kilometers an hour through a section where we were airborne at least 3 times with at least a foot of ground of air between the wheels and the road. On the other hand, when you blow a section, a stupid section, where you miss a turn, you have to back up to make the turn, you lose 30 seconds doing that, then it's frustrating. So you tend to use the F word an awful lot.
Oh, I see. Hence your choice of the single word to describe the event. Okay.
Overwhelming, incredible. You can't get this kind of experience in any other type of racing. I've done oval track, we've both done solo sports, some other rally, and nothing compares to this. Nothing. It's an entire, not only driving, but emotional experience with the people and everything.
Exciting. We've been at Hershey and Carlisle and many car shows, lots of Citroen meets, but nothing is thrilling like Targa. It's the joy of the drive, it's the adrenaline running, it's also the fellowship. We're friends in this event and we actually help each other out. It's absolutely marvelous. Maybe one word would be fellowship around cars. I like that.
Excitement. It's an exciting, it's an enjoyable event for all competitors and all organizers, and we talk to the marshals out there and they're just excited about being here. So it's an excitement.
An adventure, and it is an adventure. Every corner, and I always like when we're sitting at the start of a stage and somebody will say, the roads are pretty slippery and we've seen the odd moose today, so.
What I brought out of this last year and what I got out of it was meeting the people in all the rural communities. It's breathtaking. Their scenery, their towns, their hospitality is second to none in the world, and I've been all over the place doing racing. And that's part of what brought me back here, and that's what I told everybody else about the event. The competition's one thing, but the people are so much more.
If you could sum up Targa in one word so far, what would you choose?
The word, it's funny because the word changes throughout the week, right? So like earlier on, the first word would have been damp, and then frustration, and then hope, and then that's extinguished. And then it becomes just like endurance. and then resignment, and then finally acceptance that you cannot beat this thing. So it kind of goes, it's kind of the 7 stages of Targa, I think, or I mean, to coin a phrase.
That's it, class stuff, that's much better.